Hi, welcome to New Vocations at Merriworth Farm, our weekly virtual tour. My name's Anna Ford and I'm the Thoroughbred Program Director here. And each week, if you're new, we do a Wednesday virtual tour, and we've been going through the different aspects of our mission. New Vocations is the largest and oldest racehorse adoption program in the country, and our mission is to rehab, retrain, and rehome retired racehorses. And we take in or serve over 500 horses a year. So last week we covered the rehab portion of it, and so today we're going to cover the retraining portion of it. And we're here at our training facility. You can see we have a really nice outdoor arena. We've got a couple horses out there working. The barns that are next to our arenas house the horses that are currently in training for adoption. Many of them are up for adoption. And so today we wanted to kind of cover that whole transitional training aspect of that. And so the first part, if you pan over here, we have these little round pins that we utilize for horses that when they first come into the program, they're not used to being turned out. They're used to being in their stall 23 hours a day and out to exercise for about an hour or so a day. And so to just turn them out in one of these large open fields, that would not be a very smart thing to do. So we start them out in these little paddocks and make sure that they're comfortable with being out in the wide open. And then we'll pair them up with another horse, because that's another aspect of our transitional training. He just got a little fright that we have. And then we slowly get them acclimated to being out into a larger field. So this is a horse that just came in last night. He arrived here at 9:30. His name's El Dolce. He's a very cute horse. He was actually donated to our program by Eclipse Thoroughbreds. They raced him in his earlier years, and then he was claimed away from them. And then they contacted us and said they were going to try to get him back to retire him. So they were able to purchase him back, and he caught the first trip back from, I think he was in Charleston, here to New Vocations, and just arrived really late last night. So we're happy to have him, but he's a perfect example. He raced just last week, and he really loves his stall. He's a little sweaty out here. He's going to come in here in about 30 minutes. But this is his first introduction to retirement and his first part of his transitional training, and that is being comfortable with his surroundings, his new surroundings. He'll stay out here for an hour or two a day for the next couple days, and then we'll buddy him up with another horse. And then across the street, you can't see it because the trees are really thick. We have our rehab barn, and that's where we were yesterday. We have a little bit of a treat today that we have 3 horses from our rehab barn that are now graduating to come over to the training barn. So they have been fully rehabbed from whatever injury they had. We have 3 of them coming over today, and they're making the march from the rehab barn to the training barn. And we don't normally get to capture this on film, let alone during one of our live virtual tours. So this is kind of like a little graduation time for them, which is great. Some of these guys have been with us for 2 months, and some of them, I think one of them's been with us for 6 or 7 months. Mm-hmm. Allie, who do you have?
I have Captain Buzzkill.
So Captain Buzzkill, he came over from California. Dervin, who do you have? Saratogian, he came from locally. And who do you have, Julie?
Mr. Jeeves.
And Mr. Jeeves also came locally. Oh, he's excited. And you can turn around and see El Dolce is very interested in meeting new friends. He's like, who are these guys that just came over? Okay, we'll walk into our Whirlwind Poppy barn and follow these guys in. It's a pretty cool sight. I know when I see the guys moving over from the rehab barn over to our training side, it's always exciting, because that means that they're ready for the next phase, and that is that transitional training side, which is a very important part of our program, that means the next step is going to be finding them a home and getting them adopted. One thing I forgot to mention is if you guys have any questions while we're doing the tour today, please feel free to put them in the comment section. We'll do our best to answer those as we walk along. We're going to go into one of our training barns here where these guys just entered and meet up with our trainer, Leandra Cooper. And she's going to take us through a little bit of the transitional training process. Oh, we've got some introductions going on. For those of you that have followed us on our website, here's Coffee Time. He was one that was just recently posted for adoption and was featured on one of our meet and greets. And it sounds like he's already found a home. You can see some other cute faces in here. So what we do with the horses as far as their daily routine is that when they first come in, we let them out during the day so we can kind of keep an eye on them, just like we're doing with El Dolce. But once they've been here for a while, we graduate them to all-night turnout. And so these guys that are in the barn right now have been out all night, and they stay in during the day, so then our team can work with them and start doing their transitional training under saddle. And then once they're done with that, then they go back out and stay out all night again. Now the empty stalls are the horses that are here that are newer in our program that are out during the day, and then they come in at night. Down here is all the ladies. We do tend to keep the geldings separated from the girls. The girls seem to like it that way. Yes. And just keeps things, much nicer, right, Dahlia? Very good. Well, let's walk over and we'll see what Leandra's up to. She just literally got off a horse that she's been riding and working with. She's now giving it a bath, so we can see that really quickly. We don't normally jump into a bath or shower scene right away, hey? So Leandra is our trainer, and we do have a mic for you, but I don't know if you want to come out with us, or if you're going to be able to come out with us. Okay. Let me hand that to you. I'll just kind of work with you here. Put that where you need it. So for anyone that hasn't seen what a horse shower looks like, this is our horse shower. So today I've informed everyone that we're talking about the transitional training. We've gone through the turnout stages and visited the new horse that just came last night. Mm-hmm. Saw the new rehab horses coming across and coming in. And then we're going to maybe go out and see one of the horses receiving some transitional training.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to share about this young lady?
This is Mixing It Up. She is up online. She, as you can see, is really, really easy on the ground. Always is pretty docile and easy to handle. She's a little spunkier under saddle, and we'll need somebody who has more experience and can just work slowly with her because she still has a little bit more get up, and she can just be kind of hard through her mouth. So she needs a little more time just to get to the point where she's more in the partnership mindset, where she's more willing to be on the bit and not trying to be above it or resistant to it, which can just take some time. So it's the mental reprogramming, not so much the physical.
Oh, we'll let you put her back, and then we'll walk out to the outdoor. Her friends are welcoming her back. We have a really neat horse that we're going to feature out here in the outdoor who has a really neat story. I'll let Leandra share about that.
And your fan.
Okay, let's head out. So I keep forgetting, this is Poker T is the mare that we're going to be looking at out here. I keep forgetting that she has this amazing story. Do you want to share about her world travels?
Well, she raced in Puerto Rico and I believe came back stateside after the hurricane. So she's had some international travel, and we've had other horses who've come from Puerto Rico, and what that means for them is that they're used to a little more than just being in a trailer. So obviously they have to take a flight there.
And take a flight back.
Are there boats as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Have to travel to get through to the airport. So you know, it's by land and by sea.
Some of them are flown and some of them are barges, but we obviously we don't know how. We knew she flew back, but we don't know how she got there.
Right. So that definitely takes some more mental mileage, gives her more experience. And she's actually kind of similar to mixing it up in the way that I was describing her, as just getting to the point of having that willingness to be what we call on the bit. So you can see she kind of puts her head up and then down, and that's just them developing that muscle over the top of their neck. It's kind of a refined movement, a little bit more than our standard walk, trot, canter. So she's working on getting to be a fancy gal, but yeah, she had quite the experience as a racehorse, and then is coming here and learning to have all those new tools in her toolbox to help her have a new career. But at this point, you're getting a horse who clearly, as you can see by her width, maybe in the video, has settled into a slower paced lifestyle easily, and has been a great sport in the transition overall.
So she's very well adapted to being turned out with the other mares. She's out all night. She's on that field. And now as far as under saddle, in general, with the horses that we get in, what's your goal that you want them to be doing before we put them up for adoption? What's just a good overview goal of what you're trying to get them to learn?
Our standard traits that we're looking for, or not so much traits as the steps that we're looking for them to be able to go through before going online, are to stop, steer, walk, trot, and canter. And then throughout that, we usually will introduce them to ground poles here. It can vary a little bit from facility to facility with the type of exposure they get, just based off of their resources. But in general, they're all going to be able to stop, steer, walk, trot, canter.
Great. And from what we can see, the basis of riding and just being a good, solid citizen as a riding horse are very similar across the board, whether you're going to be a dressage horse or a hunter jumper or a trail horse.
Yeah.
So that's really what you're trying to do, is get just a good gauge on what their mind's like, what their movement and what their ability is going to be, and be able to promote them in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And Poker T is a great example of that, because she really could go into many, many different disciplines. Some of those more refined movements, like I'm saying, can come in handy for Western pleasure, hunter jumpers, dressage, I mean, you name it. But then she could also go and be somebody's pleasure mount, just go on trails. You can see Dom doesn't really have a tight grip on her reins. She's just, there you go, riding what we call on the buckle, so really loosely. She's not the type of horse that people sometimes think of when they think of ex-race horses, where they're like chomping at the bit to go and just want to go fast. Poker T is really enjoying doing slow movements. So when we're working with them, we're doing exactly what you said, looking to evaluate all the different things that they'll enjoy doing, will be fit for physically and mentally. So Poker T's that great example of a horse who doesn't just have one option that she clearly wants, but could do a bunch of different things. So sky's the limit for her.
Well, that's great. Well, are there any questions at this point? No? Very good. Well, we will leave you with a couple things to think about if you're interested in adopting and learning how to adopt maybe this particular horse or any that are on our website. You can visit our website at newvocations.org. Also, next week on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we're going to be taking you through the whole adoption process. So you can tune into that if you'd like to learn more. And then if you're interested in helping in any way, there's a way that everybody can help out. And the biggest and easiest way is to follow us on Facebook, like our post, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We're now on TikTok. So if you are interested in helping us spread the word about these amazing adoptable horses, retired racehorses, please help us spread the word by sharing, retweeting, whatever it means within that platform. Please help us do that. It makes a big difference. And if you're interested in adopting, like I said, you can visit our website at newvocations.org. And last but not least, if you would like to financially support, make a donation to our program, we definitely could not do what we do on a day-to-day basis without the private donations that we receive from amazing individuals. So that information is on our website as well. And one quick announcement, we are now doing private tours. So if you are ever in Lexington, or maybe you live in Lexington, and you would like to organize a private tour, you can go to visithorsecountry.com and sign up for a private tour. And we are doing those Monday through Saturday, and anywhere between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So again, if there's no questions, we'll sign off and we'll see you next week.